some people are comfortable being ignorant, being unaware of certain things. And I've learned over time to accept that, because that's that person's choice. And I don't have the right to try to impose my thoughts or my belief on anyone. I thought that I could just share what I'd learned with others, and they would get excited as I had gotten excited. The light bulb would come on, and I'd have another soldier to march with me. I share what I know with those who want to know, right? I learn from those who want to share what they know. So I'm at the point in my life, I'm at the point in my career where I want to build with those people that want to build too.
Hey, welcome back to the What 5 HT channel on YouTube. That's right, What 5 HT on YouTube, where we deal with those truths when the truth is hard, it hurts, it helps, it's healthy, and it's healed. And we deal with world issues, health, academia, and times. Yeah, as it was spoken earlier, a minute ago, is not good. Or I would say, don't get comfortable being in a place of ignorance. It's not good. That's never a good thing. Comfortable in the place of ignorance. So I was just coming back at you since our last post. And we're going to be talking about an interesting topic today. I'm going to be diving into the scriptures, that book that we call the Bible. However, I wanted to talk about a few other things before we get to that. We still got a lot of things going on here in this day and time. I had someone, I was speaking with a friend the other day, and he was mentioning that Section 8 and welfare was going to be ended in, I think November. Well, what's happening is, the funding will end in November, but the whole program itself will not end. They have extension programs that you can kind of tap into, but you might want to look into that early. You might want to start looking into that now. They have a few other resources that probably want to be classified as Section 8, but in so many ways, it can kind of help you navigate in hard times in the same manner. And as far as the welfare situation, I'm not sure about that one. I do know that they probably putting you in a position where you have to work to get it. You have to show proof of work, or you got to prove some way where you are really incapable or unable to work. But that's not the first time that this happened. I can remember this happened in the Clinton era. Bill Clinton did the same thing. He made it to where if you was not attempting to work or working in a particular place, then you weren't going to get any government assistance. And the thing about it is government assistance is really ending. And I'm going to tell you something. It didn't just start. This administration just decided not to be putting a lot of funds back into it. But this didn't just start. Let's think about something here. Resources. We've never had the resources that we've always begged for since we can say we've been free? Yeah. Always begging for resources, always wanting help, and always protesting about something. However, we always got promises that were never fulfilled. And then what happened? I'm going to tell you what happened to the resources that we've always asked for and quote unquote, I'll say begged for. So here's what happened. In the last administration, we had a lot of company coming into the country, a lot of company. And they came over, and most of them were needful, and they needed help. And the government that we've been serving under since they took charge of this land decided that they would help our company that was welcomed in by the last administration. They were actually welcomed in. Some would say it could have been 2 million, and then you got some say it could be up to maybe 12 to 14 million. And however, you have some that go extreme and say it it could have easily been 20 million. But we do know that at least a million or two was unaccounted for. So the 2 million, we can debunk that one. We know it was way more than 2 million people that actually was welcome into the country. Well, this is where I'm going with that. When they came in, they started absorbing all the resources and the benefits that were supposed to be going into our community. Now, here we are. We have an administration that says, check this out. We are no longer putting money into the Section 8 program. And a lot of these people that were welcome into the country, they lived up under Section 8. I mean, they were actually taken care of. They was put up in apartments, they was put up in hotels, they were put up in lavish places. I can actually speak to from hands on and watching it happen. I watched one community, one apartment complex totally transition from us to those that was welcome in. And as we started getting weeded out, those that were welcome in, they refurbished the entire apartment. And when I say refurbished, they went in and gutted everything out and made everything anew. And then I'm more than certain they had to pay no monies. So here, all the money that was set up for this program we call Section 8, it got absorbed through the last administration. We can call this guy or this image in the White House and say what we want to say about him. I'm going to keep dialing down on this. Your focus is in the wrong area because you caught up in a Republican Democrat mindset. That's not what this is about, people. I keep telling you. And it's no longer a racial thing. It's not racial anymore. It probably used to be, and it probably still is in little bits and area. But this is a class thing now. I'm going to say it again. It's a class thing now. The upper class or the lower class, they eliminate the middle class. So you're going to be rich or poor, regardless of your ethnicity, bro. Sisters, regardless of your ethnicity. This is a class thing now. And we still stuck on racism. And if it does happen, it happens. It happens among not only our group, other groups too. They can say the same thing. Because we have a lot of Asians that's talking about hate crimes being committed against them. We have the people that run everything saying hate crimes is committed against them. When I say they run everything, I literally mean everything. Even this channel that I'm on, they have a lot to do with this coming through because their money is involved in every network that you watch on TV, every channel that you listen to on the radio station. You can't get rid of them. They in the music industry, they in athletics, they in academia, they control it all, my brother. I'm telling you. So I just want to throw that in for free, man. But look, we got so many other things going on. I was checking out something, man, and it was really, 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 really bad. But like earlier, when you before the post came on, this gentleman was talking. Let's not get comfortable in ignorance, and that's what they feed us. They feed this to us daily. They feed ignorance to us daily, and it starts in academia. We've already talked about the JDR effect, John D. Rockefeller, that set up this system that we go educate ourselves in today. This system was set up, and it was set up in a way to where it worked because we are doing actually what they proposed that we would do and said that we would do. And we're starting to act in ways that they knew the outcome would be when they started studying us. They were studying us. In their projects, they was running studies on us. Just like when we was in the projects, remember how a lot of us probably was raised in the projects, and those that weren't, you understand what I'm talking about. Think about it. Projects. Why would they call it the projects? Because they were running a study on you. You were a project, and they were running a study on you, and they look at the outcome. and the outcome is usually what their study says it would be, because we often fall into that classification, and we fall into that area where they want us to land. And I'm gonna tell you like this here, because I'm gonna go somewhere with this. Trust me, I'm gonna get to the I'm gonna get into the scriptures in a little bit, but I just want to talk about a few things, because I'm telling you, we in a place that's really bad. And when I say a place that's really bad, it's because we've lost our way some kind of way. Somehow we lost our way. I want you guys to check out this teacher. He was very moved about his senior students. He was very moved about their inability to even reproduce what he was giving them. And that's what they did anyway. That's the education system. What they teach you, they want you to regurgitate it, give it back to them. Then they test you on it, and then you move to the next level. But however, the test that he was trying to implement in this particular classroom setting, it didn't quite go out well, and it really affected him really bad. I just wanted to give you guys a take on where we are as a country. We supposed to be one of the most powerful countries on the planet. However, when it comes to educational wise and academia and knowledge wise, we losing on every hand. Check out this teacher just for a minute.
So I am on my lunch break. It is, I don't know, 11:30 or something like that. And I just finished a 3-hour class. We have what's called block, and block is where first and second periods are combined for subjects that need it. And so I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem. And they couldn't do it. I don't know. I simply don't know where the problem is. This is only day 2. And I have seniors who simply cannot read and seniors who cannot write. They cannot write. They can reason. They have the ability to defend their reasoning if it's talking to their homeboy, but applying that to a written text, 2 paragraphs, and they couldn't do it. Our young black men, our young brown men, our young black girls, and our young brown girls oh God.
Okay. He was really touched by that. So I think he has passion for being a teacher. My question is, how do you get to be a senior and you find yourself in a place like this? But we have a government that's going to push these people straight out. They're going to push them out into the world. They're going to push them out into the world, set up to fail. set up for failure on the top. How can it be? Why is it? Should we continue to allow it? And if not, what do we do to help this? It's a sad situation, but I want to tell you something. There was a bill that was put in place, and it was called No Child Left Behind. I think that was Bush Jr. He decided that we would have this initiative called No Child Left Behind. They still pushing it. Did you know how long it's been since Bush Jr. was in office? We talking about early 2000, 2001. Then we in 2026. So this No Child Left Behind initiative or law, we're reaping the results of it right now. That's where we are. And sad to say, that's why we have a lot of people depending on Section 8. Not all people now. Most of these programs are supposed to be designed for a person that falls up on a hard time, and it's not designed for you to really live your whole entire life off of it. It's to get you in a place to where you can actually have some type of success and be a benefit to society. Not to live on it for life and then pass it on to your kid and your kid pass it on to their kid. Well, however, No Child Left Behind put a lot of people in place to where they'll need Section 8. That was really sad. And that teacher was really moved by that. And I understand. I get it. Because obviously his passion is not only for teaching, his passion was also for the children. And his heart was broken. How did you feel about it? If you don't feel a way about it, I'm going to tell you what you probably used to and what you probably don't mind seeing. If you didn't feel the type of way about what you just saw that guy go through and how he felt in his way, in his profession, and the outcome of seniors, they're on their way out of the educational arena. Academia has did its work, failed. Okay, now let's do this again. Did the parents fail also? Because we're not going to put everything on one lump. This is a group effort. Did the parents fail also? Maybe the parents got the kids that's incontrollable. Here's the deal, because remember, you can't discipline your child anymore. You can't do that. You go to jail. Especially if it's what the system called CA. I'll call it CA. You know what that means. If it's classified as CA, then you might be getting a knock on your door for trying to help your kid or encourage your kid in a different tone to do better. If you don't do that, these are the results. I want you to check this out. My Memphian friends might feel some type of way when they see this here because you're in competition. And is this a good competition? Because what I'm about to show you now is what happened in Chicago. You'll never hear it on the mainstream media news because these types of things go on the cover, and these are the things that we are numb to. So check out.
Well, breaking this morning out of West Garfield Park, a shooting at a popular restaurant leaves one woman dead. This happened at the original Maxwell Street restaurant location on West Harrison Street. Police said that she got into an argument with a man who then shot her several times outside the restaurant. The suspect then left the area in a silver SUV. She was taken to a hospital where she died. Breaking out of West Inglewood, one person is dead and another is hurt following a shooting on West 65th Street. Police say the two men were standing outside when someone from inside of a sedan shot at them. The car then left the area and headed north on Laughlin Street. Both men were taken to a hospital. A 30-year-old man died while a 32-year-old man is in serious condition. And breaking out of Lawndale, a 35-year-old man dies from a shooting on West Cermak Road. Police said he was standing outside when he was approached by a group of people. One of them shot at him, and then the group ran away from the area. He was taken to a hospital where he died. So far, no arrests have been made in any of those shootings. In developing this morning, 2 people remain in critical condition following last night's shooting in the Auburn-Gresham neighborhood. This happened around 7:15 along South Sangamon Street. Police say that 4 people were on the sidewalk when a car pulled up to them, and people from inside that car started shooting at them. 2 others were hit but declined medical attention.
These incidents that happened in one weekend in Chicago. Yeah, that's what we get. And I'm not just going to dial it down on Chicago because I just mentioned Memphis, LA, New York, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, San Francisco, Seattle, Detroit, right across the river or right across the lake, I'll say, from Chicago, Lake Michigan splits too. I can keep naming cities. And when you look at those cities, I want you to look at who represent those cities and who run those cities. That's all I got to say to you about that right there. So where are we losing? How did we get to be here? Where did we lose track? The elders no more is respected. And let me see. Because I wanted to say something. I think this was from a study from a doctor way back, Dr. Jacouf. And I just want to see if I want to make sure I get this right. I don't want to say anything. I want to make sure I get this right, because this is going to carry me to where I'm trying to get to. This is going to take me to where I'm trying to get to right now. Yeah. And it's something else too. Trust me. Okay, here we go. So, whether in the 1980s, we're going to start in 1950, right? From the 1950s, I want to give you a classification. This was from a study from the University of Michigan. This was the study of child influence. What most influenced a child? In 1950, first on the list was the home. Second on the list was school. Third on the list was church. Fourth on the list was peers, your peers. And fifth on the list was television or TV. That was in 1950. Fast forward 30 years later. 30 years, within a generation now. Let's see how they categorize now, and did it remain the same or change? Now we're looking at 1980. From the study of Michigan University, this study was child influence. Now, in 80, we got the home. Kept its ranking. Now we got peers, your peers. That went from fourth to second. Now we got the television or TV, which went from fifth to third. Then we got school, which went from second to fourth. What fell off the map, people? Church. I'm just saying. What happened? Was church fifth? Could have been fifth or somewhere within 10. Why did I bring that up? Because I told you, I want to go somewhere with this, man. I want to go somewhere with this. None of this is good. Where we are right now is not a good place. I have to tell you, it's not a good place at all. So what do we do? How do we do? Have we ever seen this before? From 1950 to 1980, 30 years, a complete change. Something happened within those 30 years, and we talk about it a lot on some of our past posts. If you want to check some of those things out, you might get an idea of how we got here. I want to suggest this also because I mentioned it maybe briefly in one of our posts. I didn't dial down on it. I just want to revisit it now. And I want to talk about something here. I want to go to the scriptures. And of course, I understand, as I always say, there are a lot of people now that don't even trust the Bible, believe scripture. That's one of the reasons church fell off the map in the most influencing child's life. Church fell off the map. So don't nobody really want to hear it. I'm here to say this here because I know some of you guys may even listen to me. You may not even be too big on it. But I'm also aware that there are those of you that listen to me that you are big on it. So where are you missing the mark? Let us try to find out. Because some kind of way, the mark has been missed. We go into what you call the book of Judges, or in the Hebrew word, it would be the book of Shotim. Shotim. That's Shoftim. Shotim. And it'll be more defined in its Hebrew meaning rather than the English, which we call Judges. Because English, in the words of Elder Michael Johnson, it's like a Yiddish language. And Yiddish is kind of like a slang. The English language is not ancient language, my friend. When you start talking about ancient language, you're going all the way back to the Phoenician, the Hebrew, Sumerian, Aramaic, even Greek. It's on down the line. And then Latin, all that is on down the line. Etymology means a lot. The meaning of words means a lot, and the meaning of the words has changed because the way we look at judges today is not the way judges were meant to look at. We look at a judge as in a courtroom with a black robe on. And the reason I'm saying that because think about it, my friends that listen to me. We got the book of Judges, right? It's been translated from Latin to English, which is this Yiddish language, this slang language. So here's the deal, not the book. If the letter J has just recently been introduced to us within the last 500 years, how do you get the book of Judges? Because Judges start with a J. Okay, now, here we go. Shoftim. That's the Hebrew word of the original book. That's what you will get in Hebrew. That's the name of this book. And the meaning of it now means judges, but not in a sense where you think, because there's a truer definition, of the meaning. Because, when you get into Hebrews and Greek, they got different meanings. It depends on how you're applying it in whatever sentence you're applying it in whatever way. So judges fall up under that particular meaning. But you want to look at judges more so in the Hebrew meaning as rulers or deliverers. Right? And then you got this word shofet. Shofet. Or shofat. However you want to pronounce it. Anyway, it's spelled Shofet. Shofet. Shofet or shofat. That's the Hebrew word, and it means ruler, deliverer, and rescuer. So when you look at the book of Judges or the book of Shoftim, you are actually looking at a type of ruler or a type of deliverer or rescuer. If you see, here's the difference with being a ruler and delivering a ruling. The judges that we go into the courtroom with today, he will give you a ruling. Shotim or the shofet or the shafat. He is an actual ruler. The judge is not a ruler. He just delivers rulings. So that's the difference in that book. And that's the judges. I'm going to continue to use the word judges because I don't want to throw you off, because I respect the audience that I deal with and that listen to me. I want to kind of talk to you in a layman's term. I want to talk to you in a term you more understand, but I also want you to get a truer meaning of this particular word. So when I'm talking about a judge in this instance, I'm actually talking about a ruler or deliverer, okay, or a rescuer. That's what I'm talking about, a shafat or shafet, okay. And they were always spirit led, because every time you hear it mentioned in the book of Judges, it always say that the spirit of the Lord came upon them. Yeah, because they couldn't do it in their own power. Why? They're fallen men. They're fallen men. And each one of them were fallen. And it was 12 of them. See, we only outline maybe 6 that really get talked about in detail, but it was another 6 that they didn't talk about them. They just mentioned their name and kept it moving. And the writer of this book had a reason for doing that. The writer of this book, and we really can't define who the writer was, but there is a key thing. We'll get back to that writer part too. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. But there was a reoccurring theme in this book that makes me think about today's time. And I can't help but put us in this particular place, because these events that's spoken of, like I always say, whether you believe it or not, there's nothing you can do with it. Because when you see it and read it, it's a reoccurring theme of what we see today. The exact same thing. You don't have to believe it, but you definitely live in it. Yeah, I said it. Yes, I did. I said it. You don't have to believe it, but you living it, operating in it. Yeah, well, this is what we're going to do here. The reoccurring theme here is mentioned 4 times in this book. But if you ask me, it's the theme or the thesis statement that causes the outcome of every event that happens in the book of Judges, or Shoftim for those that know Hebrew. And I'm going to read it. The first time it's mentioned is in chapter 17, in the 6th verse. Chapter 17 and the 6th verse, Judges 17 and 6. Yeah. And this how it reads. In those days, there was no king in Israel, but every man did that which was right in his own eyes. Can we read that again? Judges 17 and 6. In those days, there were no king in Israel, but every man did that which was right in his own eyes. There's no way we can get around that. You may not believe what you read there, so you may as well believe it in this day and time, because every man does what he think is right in his own eyes. Everybody got a right way. Everybody got something that they talk about that's right and you wrong. And we got all these people with a compass that's leading all in the wrong direction. So here's the thing. If every man is doing that which was right in his own eyes, then how do we define what's right? Do we have a compass? Do we have a map to navigate? How do we decide what's right if every man figure in his own eyes that what he's doing is right or she's doing is right? How do we get there? And what do we do about it? Look, I want you to check this out. And please don't, I don't want no one to call themselves a Christian to think that I'm speaking on you or picking on you. And the reason why I mostly deal with the Christian community is because I proclaimed that for years of my life and followed after it and studied after it and did all of that. Although I did study other religions and their belief system, I'd never proclaimed to be none of that. I was weighing it up against Christianity, what I thought I was and what I was thinking, deeming myself right. But I want you to check out something. I'm going to show you how we can get to every man doing that which was right in his own eyes. I want you to check this video out. Listen and listen closely.
Watch this.
Martin Luther didn't like the Catholic Church and founded the Lutheran Church. Calvin didn't like the Lutheran Church and founded the Reformed or Calvinist Church. Henry VIII didn't like being denied Catholic marriage and founded the Anglican Church. John Smith disliked the Anglican Church and founded the Baptist Church. William Miller didn't like the Baptist Church and founded the Adventist movement. Ellen G. White really liked what William Miller said and founded the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Charles T. Russell didn't like the Adventist Church and founded Jehovah's Witnesses. Joseph Smith disliked the Methodist Church and founded the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormons. John Wesley disliked the Anglican Church and founded the Methodist Church. Some pastors didn't like the Methodist Church and founded the Pentecostal Church. Many did not like the Pentecostal Church and founded thousands of churches like Stop Suffering, Assemblies of God, Light of the World, etc. The evangelical movement came from the Baptist Church, while the born-again movement came from the evangelical churches. The born-again faith emerged in the late 1930s in the U.S., and it gained popularity in the 1970s and 1980s, its golden age. There are now 35,000 different so-called Christian religions.
Well, what do you have to say? He said it's at least 35,000 different beliefs in Christianity. I've heard it's up to 40 or more thousand. Let's just stick with what he said. Let's just stick with the 35,000. Christians, you got 35,000 different ways in which you can believe. Janet Jackson said, who's right and who's wrong? She said, you got one life to live. Who's right and who's wrong? How do you get to 35,000 different beliefs? Because somebody didn't like what somebody else said, and they didn't like what they said, and they didn't like what he said, and they didn't like what she did, and it goes on and on and on. So you ask yourself, what is truth? And is there a such thing as truth? And if so, how do we get there? Well, the guys in the scripture and Judges, where the Spirit of God came up on them, the six that they mainly talk about, that Spirit of the Most High was leading them, or the Spirit of Yahweh, the Spirit of Jehovah was following them. Not following, leading them. Putting them in the place of a rescuer and a deliverer. Only up under that Spirit. Because when you read each event on each one of the six that they really dial down on, you will see the flaws in each six. And you will see where they fell off. Each one of them. They didn't continue walking with that Spirit. I call it the Christ consciousness. That Spirit that lead and guide you, not what another man say. Because I can say something wrong and they're off. If I don't allow that Christ consciousness to speak and use me or my mouth, regardless of whether I like it or not. You ain't got, and then here's the deal. Most of the things that you don't like are the things that help you. Now, I get it. You like ice cream, cake, candy, chips, and dips. Yeah, that's what we meet for on some Sundays and Saturdays. We get ice cream, cake, candy, chips, and dips. When you start getting the meat? Or is that person that's delivering that word that you believe in, do they have meat? Are they able to consume meat? Or do they just withhold the meat from you and continue to giving you ice cream, cake, candy, chips, and dips? Man, okay. I can tell that this is going to be, look, we're going to talk about this for a minute. I'm just giving you an introduction. We getting an opening right now, but we're going to talk about this for a minute. Yeah, we're going to talk about this for a minute because I'm telling you, we didn't get here by chance, by accident. That was a reason, because everyone does that which is right in his own eyes. And those that surface through social media, you'll find thousands and thousands of people saying this is right, this is the way, this is right, this is the way, and they all going in different directions. That's how we hear. How did you think we begin? How did you think we got to be a divided nation? Okay, I want to deal with this, just that one verse. It's spoken of 4 different times in the book of Judges or the book of Shotim. It's spoken in Judges 17:6, Judges 18:1, Judges 19:1, Judges 21:25. And if you notice, it starts speaking later on in the writings on how in those days there was no king in Israel, but every man did that which was right in his own eyes. Those days or those times, because the Paleo-Hebrew meaning of days would be times. Now let's get something else straight. Like I say, I respect my audience and I don't want to push you. We're going to walk through this here because a lot of things you just don't get right off the top and really fast. Now, there's a Hebrew language which is spoken. Shotim is the Hebrew language which you speak. Shotim. Then there's a Hebrew language which is written, which is the Paleo Hebrew language. Paleo Hebrew, that's a written language. And there is a way you separate the two, but we're not going to get into that right now. But I'm just telling you the Paleo Hebrew meaning of the word days is times. So in those days or times, there was no king, but every man did that which was right in their own eyes. Now the word right, yashar. Yashar. That's the spoken language. Yashar, meaning straight. Okay? That's what you do when you're talking about yashar. And that's spelled Yashar. Yashar. That's the word right. And what yashar mean, the Hebrew, not Paleo Hebrew meaning, in the Hebrew language, yashar means straight or level, and then it goes to right. That's the English translation. But like I say, English is a watered down language. It's a watered down version of language. So when we deal with the Hebrew language of yashar, which right falls up under that category, it means straight or level. Have you heard, you remember, case in point, you remember Yeshua said, walk the straight and narrow. Remember When Yeshua said, walk the straight and narrow, Yashar, right. That's meaning you walking the right way, right, straight. That's what Yashar means. So every man in those days, it said in those days there were no king in Israel, but every man did that which was right in his own eyes. So we dealt with, in those times, there was no king in Israel, but every man did that which was straight. Keep it straight, or they kept it on the level. Remember, have you heard it before? Keep it on the level. Yeah, man, I'm straight. I'm just using our terms in the hood now. But these are this is how we're gonna break this down. Now, again, in those days there was no king in Israel, but every man did that which was right in his own eyes. The Paleo Hebrew meaning of eyes is understanding or wisdom. See, those people that committed those acts in Chicago, what kind of understanding did they have? Huh? And then those people that said, I didn't like the way you study or what you taught, so I'm going to make it this, and I don't like the way you teach, I'm going to make it this. Where did that come from? Where did that understanding and wisdom come from? It wasn't the same spirit. So deliverer had the spirit of the Most High come up on them. Yahweh or Jehovah, that spirit came up on them. That consciousness, that Christ's consciousness, that same spirit, it ain't going to teach you no different way. It's going to always take you the same route. It's not going to be a different route. You may have to do different things, but your ultimate goal and your ending point is going to be in the same place. And that's doing that thing which is right. But you can't do what's right in your own eyes or your own understanding or your own wisdom. That's when you got the people with the compasses that doesn't work properly and everybody going different ways. Your thing calibrated for north, and your north is this way, and their north is that way, and their north is this way, and their north. Now all of a sudden you got everybody scattered. No one with one accord, not on one accord. Leave that alone. The scripture doesn't say we all on one accord. It doesn't say that. That's what you heard people say. That's why I say take the time sometime and read stuff yourself. Even if it's something you say you don't believe, at least quote it right. It say with one accord, because being on one accord and with one accord is two different things. Small words changes sentences. I know they taught you that. Prepositions, man, small words, big. I mean, it plays a big role in sentences and understanding. Yeah. So we had 6 that they talked about, but there were actually 12. There were actually 12. 12 judges. Othniel, Ehud, Deborah, Gideon, Jephthah, and Samson is the one that most talked about. Then you got the other 6, which is Shamgar, Tola, Jar, Ibzan, Elon, Abdon. And then you had this weird guy by the name Abimelech. Yeah. Who just did away with 70 of his own brothers. Yeah. That was Gideon's son. You remember Gideon? The one that wanted the Most High to, you got to prove to me that you're going to be with me. Make the fleece wet in a dry place. Okay. He woke up, the fleece is wet, soaking wet. Okay, now I need you to make the fleece dry when it's wet. And now he wake up and the fleece is dry. Because when he found Gideon, what was Gideon doing? Hiding where? In a wine press. And then the angel of the Most High called him mighty man of valor. And he hiding in a wine press, trying to keep people from taking the wheat. All that got a meaning. I'm not even going to get into that right now. Because I'm telling you, when you start reading this and understanding it in its true essence, its Paleo Hebrew meanings, maybe you get somewhere. Maybe you I'm still not going to say you're going to believe and follow out. At least you'll understand it better. It'll sound more, I'll say, clear to you. You have more clarity. And then it also seems to be more durable. But you know who you've been taught by? You've been taught by the mighty teacher, the one that came and found this land, because it was just here, lost. And they ran up on it and say, look what we found. You can't find something when people are already occupying it. So those are your teachers. And they have been your teachers. And now, since you're in a scattered nation, because all of the nations were never run out of the land, Joshua did a good job, but there still were remnants of Canaanites. There still were remnants of Moabites, Midians. There were still remnants of Philistines, because the Philistines are always a thorn in the side of Israel, of the Israelites. And even the word thorn in it Paleo Hebrew meaning, the thorn is a representation of a wicked man. I know you're used to the thorn that stick you and it makes you say, ouch. Well, the wicked man, after he finished with you, you're going to say, ouch, too. But you're not going to only say ouch in a physical way. He's going to give you the ouch also spiritually, especially if you go searching and worshiping and running out this God, because that was the reoccurring theme in Judges as well. The people talked, they begged, and then the Jehovah, he would come and do what he's going to do for them, and then they'll start rebelling and do evil in the sight of the Lord, or even in the sight of Yeshua, or the Most High, and not Yeshua, but the Most High, Yahweh. And then they find themselves in a place where the enemy becomes a thorn in their side. Those wicked people become a thorn in their side. Do you have wicked people that's a thorn in your side? Do you have a group of people that you consider wicked that is a thorn in your side? And I'm talking to the one that don't even believe what I'm reading right now. But can you at least admit, or can you at least say, well, pretty much? And then the thing about it is you'll want to see what people are there. And I keep telling you, same people, same spirit. Different time. That's it. That's one thing about them. This spirit. And see, that's when it comes to when we talking about good and evil, or when we talk about darkness and light. And I'm here to tell you that darkness is always present. I'm here to tell you that darkness is always present. Yes, it's always present. Case in point, you go into a windowless room with the light on, you close the door, and then you hit the light switch. Everything's become dark. Darkness is always present. Light just supersedes it. Abraham Hamilton said, darkness is just a form, and it has no power. The only thing that it does is it occupies the place where there is no light. I'm going to say that again. Darkness occupies the place where there is no light. And the Spirit of God said, let there be light. Why did the Spirit of God say, let there be light? Because darkness was on the face of the deep. Oh, yeah, this is for you, especially. As a matter of fact, this is especially for you, the one that don't believe. Because I know you say it's the white man book. It's just a book that's been manipulated. And if you look at it for what it's worth, I'm going to keep telling you over and over again until you get this metaphorically, allegorically, and parables. 95% of the book that doesn't render the Most High or Jehovah or Yahweh powerless. He's still sovereign. If he can speak and things start happening, he's still sovereign. No, but I get it. I get it. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes. And if it doesn't sound good for me or right for me, then it might be right for you. Okay, I'm good with that if that's what you want to do. I heard somebody say this, and it made so much sense. They said, you know what? They say, I'd rather live my life believing that there was a God and I died and find out that there wasn't, than to live my life as if there was no God and I died and found out that it was. Say that again. I'd rather live my life as if I lived that and believed that there was a God and died and find out that there was no God, than to live my life believing that there was no God and died and found out that there was one. Guess what, my friend? At that point in time, it's too. I'm gonna tell you something. See, and I'm like, before I go off, because when I come back and we're gonna dive into Judges a little bit, because I want to roll with this one. To be honest with you, because I love that. I love that in those days that there were no king in Israel, but every man did what was right in their own eyes. Because I know that's where we are today, and I want to deal with this one. Now, here we go. I already told you what eyes mean, right? Let's say what the Paleo Hebrew meaning of the word judge mean. The word judge, you know how you say, don't judge me? That's a guy that's in the courtroom with the black robe and he deliver a ruling. So what they telling you is don't deliver a ruling on me. Don't judge me. But let me tell you what judge mean in the Paleo Hebrew meaning. It means teacher. It means elder. It means ancients. It means counselors, in which some of those judges did operate in this book that we're going to be going through in a little bit in this post and then on the next post too. Some of them operated in delivering rulings, like Deborah, and we're going to speak about that Deborah situation again too. Deborah and Barack. Now, not Barack Obama, but there's a Barack that's Deborah dealt with, and we're gonna go through that a little bit and talk about it, because I know some people want to talk about it, especially women. Okay, here we go. Judge means teachers. Judges mean teachers, elders, ancients. Because I hear people say the ancestors. Ancestors and ancient is one and the same. Those they got a root word for it, and it's the same. The ancestor would be the ancients, wouldn't it? Come on now, work with me. Gen Zers, work with me, millennials. Because I hear a lot of people say the ancestors. Okay. All right, cool. I ain't gonna kick against that, man. But which way are they leading you? If the ancestors are leading you in a way in which another person say they fall out the ancestor and it's leading them in another way, then somebody's right and somebody's wrong. You got one life to live. Who's right? Who's wrong? That was Janet Jackson asked. Huh? Okay, I'm telling you. So, because when we come back, we're gonna go further in, and we see what the reoccurring theme is. The reoccurring theme is in those days there were no kings in Israel, but every man did that which was right in his own eyes. You know, eyes meaning understanding, days meaning time, right or yashar or yashar meaning straight, level. You know what I'm saying? So here's the deal. We don't know who wrote the book, but we know this book was written on down the line. And why would I say it was written down the line? That's why I say always be a careful reader. Because it said in those days there were no king in Israel. So whoever was writing obviously was in a time where there was a king ruling or monarchy was in place. Because it said in those days, speaking in past time, there was no king in Israel. So every man, he said, but every man did that which was right in his own eyes. And I'm saying that to say maybe they were going through a time at that moment too. And that's why and how they got to where they got, because everybody was doing that which was right in their own eyes. Could that be the same case with us today? Could it be? We have forsaken a lot of stuff. Some of it credible. Some of it not so credible. The street rule. The street rule, my brothers. Not a good one, bro. No snitching. Not a good one, bro. I don't care what nobody say. Don't have to like it. Remember, every man do that which was right in his own eyes until he hit your house. You wish somebody snitched in. Yeah, let your greatest loved one get taken away from you. You'll wish somebody snitched in, but everybody standing around say, I didn't see nothing. I don't know nothing. And you looking at them and say, you just a bunch of lying niggas. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, we've been doing this a year, man. We ain't gonna keep playing around. 1 year removed, a nation still wounded. That was the last post. Dissecting K. Her writings. Nothing changed. Yeah, they still out looking for Nolan's whatever. They looking for Nolan's killer. Because they know somebody did it. Or do we know? I for me, it's like I just want that family to have closure. Because I know what it's like. But for you, it might be a talking point, something you can continue to roll with, but I've moved forward. I've moved on. They're talking about, oh, we know who killed Tupac. Are you kidding me? 1996, 2026. Man, if you was born in that day when it happened, man, you're a whole grown person now. Don't come to me with that. I don't want to even hear it. As if you didn't know. Y'all like playing the game, though. Keep playing it. Jay, not here to play. No games. Lady up north, Bertha, she used to say, you play with puppies, they lick you in the mouth. What's the moral of the story? If you don't like getting licked in the mouth by dogs, don't play with puppies. Because that's the first thing they do is lick you in your mouth. All conflict is not bad conflict. We just got to deal with it on the front end. No man or woman wakes up and decides they want to do right. The Most High has to draw him through that spirit, that Christ consciousness, that spirit that was setting up on them men that caused them to do great things. While their spirit set up on them, once their spirit vacated them, darkness appeared. Darkness occupies the place vacated by the light. Darkness represents no knowledge, no understanding, no wisdom. Light meaning understanding, wisdom. But the minute light show up, darkness has to go. And I'm going to leave it right there, my friend. Need you to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, come in if you like. And we're gonna roll through this one. Cause I'm gonna dive down in it. We gonna deal with judges. We're gonna deal with it. Cause I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go on back to the second chapter, where it said that at the time when Joshua, because remember the J didn't exist. So Joshua, the son of Nun, when he died at 110 years old, what began to happen in Israel or amongst the Israelites? And we're going to open back up with it on our next post. So I need you guys to tune in, because we will be opening up with, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and served Balaam. Thank you. Man, it's a lot. I didn't want to hold you long, but I'm gonna run. We're gonna dive through Judges, the second chapter, not every verse, but we're gonna deal with it. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I'm telling you, I don't take it lightly. And then there I have people that say things and suggest things, and I want you to know that I do hear you. And I don't claim to be right about everything, man. That's why I have to research. Some things I don't want to talk about. If I haven't researched it, I can't get on here talking about it, man. I can't come on here just spewing false information. A lot of people don't mind doing that. It bothers me. Just like the guy said at the opening post, man. He said something, man. Some people just comfortable being ignorant. When I put something out, man, I'm trying to give you something that moved me. And look, I've been in so many different places in my life. I've been in so many different places in my life. I've checked out and looked at and been around and sat amongst all kind of beliefs and teachings and things, man. Just weeding it out. I can't separate the wheat from the tariff. I'm just among all of it. I'm just a piece of wheat that's among the tariff. But I want to remain wheat. And I don't want the tariff to choke me out. So I have to tap out. So you guys be encouraged, man. I'm going to come back with you. I'm going to come back at you. We're going to be dealing with Hebrew meanings. We're going to be dealing with Paleo-Hebrew meanings. We're going to get some of the stuff that the man on that Sunday morning and on that Saturday morning or afternoon, he ain't got time to give it to you. Make you feel good. He can give you all the dessert, man. Give you the dessert and leave out this 5-course meal. Deal in this right here. And after you get all your dessert, you can come back. And I'm going to see if I can give you pieces of the 5-course meal. That's if you can digest it. And in closing, I want you to check out something. This for the people that know that we've been oppressed and accept that we've been oppressed. And I want you to understand and realize that I do know that, and I am aware that we have been oppressed and still continue to be oppressed. But I'm going to show you how you can push through. Check out this last video here, and then I want you to check out K, Meal of the Day. And we're going to be tuning out. As I say always, what the flux? I'm out of here.
They didn't know his race. So when he arrived, they realized that he was mixed, and which meant he was black. So they held him in the commandant's office and told him to wait under a sign that said duty, honor, and country. And they assigned him a converted janitor's closet. He goes to sleep that night in the janitor's closet, and they have a meeting the next morning, and they say, we accidentally let a black cadet in. You are to treat him as if he's invisible until he drops out. Every student, every faculty, every staff was in the meeting but one person. They got out of the meeting, and for 4 years he went to West Point 50 weeks a year with not one human interaction. It is unbelievable what this man went through. And all he wanted to do was be a pilot in the United States Army and do the career that his dad had. And right before he graduates, they tell him they don't allow blacks to fly airplanes. So they told him, we will pay you if you honorably discharge. We will start a law firm for you in Chicago, and we will pay for you to move there and go to law school if you agree to drop out. So even after 4 years of no one talking to him, and he's in the top third of the class, he failed 3 classes that require a partner: boxing, ballroom dancing, and CPR, because no one would touch him or talk to him. Never called out in class, never a study buddy, whole campus segregated. Went to the West Point Army-Navy game on a bus by himself to Yankee Stadium with a black driver. This is what was going on at West Point. So now he graduates. Blacks can't come in. Him and his dad are the only 2 black officers. They go to black colleges for 4 years telling young students, keep their head up, stay tight, stay focused. World War II is about to start. Roosevelt wants to win the black vote, hires the father to be the head of black policy in America, and says, what do I need to do to win the black vote? He says, you have to start looking at the military as fair, which means allowing blacks to do all the jobs that whites do. And he goes, well, what should I do next? He goes, you should allow blacks to fly airplanes. And he goes, well, who would lead that? And he said, my son. Next day, his son goes down to Tuskegee, Alabama, passes the flying test. And then the president says, if you could get more blacks qualified down here, you could start a segregated Air Force. And because he had gone to black colleges for 4 years, he snapped his fingers. 35,000 black Americans went down. They hired 15,000, 1,000 pilots, 14,000 ground staff, commanded by a guy who went to West Point, and not one single person talked to him. And that's the story of the Tuskegee Airmen. And that's my family story.